Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live. I'm your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is Elle Boogie.
And today we're going to get into. I know it's always a delay. It's always a delay. Yeah, so today we're going to be getting into love, life, and the feed. Oh, you muted, Sassy. Did you just mute yourself?
Did I?
Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. At first, I thought you were saying something.
It's the peeking for me.
It's the what?
The peeking. Getting close to like that.
No, you know what? You know why I'm peeking? Because I can't see. So I'm trying to read. I'm trying to review the notes.
Hey, we've all been there. All of us have been there.
As my pastor said, the older I get, the more my eyes transition.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So, today we're going to get into a little bit of some of these challenges that have been on all over social media. And, from the 12 dates to the 222, which I had no clue which was. I don't know. But before we do that, let's get into our history facts. I get fascinated by these history facts. So I said, you know what? Why not try to continue on with them? So, so let's see. We have one here where, first history fact, believe it or not, the Earth wasn't always a blue planet. About 1 billion years ago, after it formed, the surface was too scorching hot for water to exist as anything but vapor. So then, around 3.8 billion years ago, the planet finally cooled and it rained. And for centuries, those endless downpours filled deep basins, forming the first ocean and setting the stage for life to emerge. Now, scientists still debate whether all of that water came from a volcanic rupture, ice comets, or perhaps the same cosmic collision that created the moon. Whatsoever the source, Earth ended up in a perfect Goldilocks zone, just the right distance from the sun for water to exist in solid, liquid, and gas form, and for life itself to begin.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yep.
Now, I wonder how that aligns with faith.
Well, according to my my mom, who I call the pastor, it started with Adam and Eve. God created everything. So if I was to tell her this, she'd be like telling me the devil is a lie and want to give me a 45-minute lecture. But hey, listen, you believe what you believe.
But for you scientific enthusiasts, this should work.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
All right. So our next one is has to do with the telephone. So back in the mid 20th century, almost no one actually owned their own home phone. Instead, millions of Americans rented them from AT&T.
Wow.
Paying just a few dollars a month for a device that wasn't truly theirs. because they couldn't buy one even if they wanted to, because AT&T controlled both the phone service and the manufacturing through its subsidiary Western Electric, locking customers into rentals for decades.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
the monopoly finally started to crumble in 1970s after years of antitrust battles, and in 1982, AT&T was forced to break up, free the phone market at last, and suddenly people could buy their own phones, and companies raced to make them more sleeker, cordless, and full of
Digital and all that other
features like
stuff.
speed dial, and and then
Mm-hmm.
at that point it marked the end of one of the America's longest running monopolies and the beginning of the personal ownership of phones as we know it. But now nobody really has a home phone. Everybody has cell phones. So
Except for old
yeah,
people. My mother
except
got a
old people.
land.
No, 'cause my mom still got a landline.
My mother has a
Yes.
You know
landline.
what
She got
though?
a telephone
Landlines
in
are
every
important
room.
Yeah.
because they trying to take landlines. Landlines are important because I keep a landline here because even if it's no phone plugged up to it, because if somebody comes in and does a cell jam block for your neighborhood or your area, you can't make a phone call. If the towers go out, you can't make a phone call, but landlines still allow you to have access. And they're one of the only lines outside of a satellite phone that will give you access.
Mhm.
So if
Now
you
you
don't, I would have a line, old ass phone in the house, just in case, because it'll be your only means of communication, especially if you look around at what's going on politically. That alone should scare you enough just
Yeah.
to have a
I mean,
landline because you just never know what
I
they're
do
liable to do.
I do have a landline. I just don't have a telephone to plug it into. And then as I look around,
Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out where would I plug the phone in? Because I don't even have the telephone jack. I told him never mind. Oh, there's one up on
Oh,
the
girl, you better
porch.
tell them come and put a
It's,
telephone jack
Yeah.
and go to
it's,
Goodwill.
it's, it's one up on the wall. I'm just
You
noticing
just
that.
look notice it.
I done
Ain't that
walked past
crazy?
this thing 1,000 times in the last 10 years, and this is the first day that I noticed.
Oh
Right underneath
my
my
gosh.
phone
Look
is
at
the landline.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Now go get a phone from Goodwill and put it underneath the cabinet until you ready.
Yeah, I think where I'm at, I don't think there is one in here because but then again, I don't know, it may be somewhere hidden. I don't know.
I
But
want to take it down.
yeah, so but yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, your modem that you get has a telephone jack in it.
Yeah, but if the electricity goes out,
If the electricity goes out, yeah, you can't
you wouldn't be
use
able
it.
to-
But
because
You can use
that.
a landline.
yeah,
But see,
but
that's
I
the
mean,
problem with my mom's phone. They're all digital. So when the electricity goes out, even though she has a landline, she still doesn't have a whatchamacallit. So you're right. I'm gonna have to probably go to Goodwill and see if I can find an old fashioned telephone. I never thought
That's
about that.
it.
yeah, my mom, I think they just switched her, I think she has a landline. She has one in the kitchen, one in her room. And then I think it's one in the extra bedroom, but I think they had switched it to, a digital line or something like that.
Hmm.
Because she had told me they had said that something with the other, I don't know, but they end up switching it to a digital line. But she still keeps it, same phone that was on there in her room with the little box that had the call ID box right next to it that she's had for since I was there when I was young. So, um, but yeah. All
Tell her
right.
don't give up her landline.
Oh no. I mean, even though she doesn't use it, she doesn't. She has no intentions on giving up her phone. So, all right. So let's get into today's topic, which is love, life, and the feed. So, man, I want to say sometime last week I was kind of thinking about, all right, what we gonna do shows on, what we gonna do a show on, and I came across this young white lady, and she was talking about doing 12 dates of December. So I guess she was going on 12 dates. She was recording her experience. I think she had just went through MS or something like that, really hadn't been on a date. So she was trying to get out of her comfort zone and take on these dates for December. And I was just like, and I think her name was Kylie or something like that, but I think it was like on TikTok, I think it was. But so then I started looking a little bit more, and then they started talking about this 222 rule for couples and singles, and I was just like, they will come up with any types of shit just for dating and relationships, which is beyond
Yes,
me.
they
But
do.
but I don't know.
What's
I
the
mean,
first thing to do?
yeah, it's just like, I mean, the 12 date challenge on TikTok and Instagram. Basically, you go on 12 dates before the end of December. And this is
Are
to
they with
kind of,
different people?
yeah, it could be different people and one person, but it's kind of like a way of
Okay.
kind of, giving a little bit of shake up to your dating life.
Hmm.
So, um, so people would record, hey, I'm going on this date with somebody I met at the gym or whatever, or somebody, or an old friend of mine, or somebody that we were friends and then we decided to go on a date. And then, they talk about where they went, and then they talk about, I guess, what happened after the date, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. So I'm like, well, damn. I mean, is dating that hard to where you have to force yourself to
Yes.
go on dates?
Well, because a lot of people aren't consistent. And I think for women, especially the women that I know, they're not really expending any energy like they
Mm-hmm.
used to in the past on really taking the time to get to know men, because the men aren't, I'm not going to say all men, but the women feel that the men aren't as sincere. They're not consistent. Consistency is the key. It's
Mm-hmm.
the consistency value for a lot of women. And the other thing is the intention. Men aren't intentional. Now, a lot of women that I know, especially women that are older, they're dating intentionally, whether it's with the desire to be married, but they're definitely dating with the intention of being in a committed monogamous relationship. And that word monogamy, for whatever reason, really, really fucks with men. So now men are now mad at women because they have told us that we need to choose better. We need to be more discerning when it comes to men, right? So now that women are being more discerning, and it's not about what he makes, but more about his character, his values, his morals, a lot of men lack in those three areas.
Yeah.
So the women are spending more time with themselves, learning who they are, because a lot of us don't, even as we get older. A lot of us really don't know who we are.
Yeah.
So they're taking the time to learn who they are. And then they're spending times with their girlfriends. They're going where they're loved and celebrated. And it feels like, and we did that the last show we did talking about that male loneliness epidemic,
Right.
kind of ties into that,
So
because
are men do? I mean, I'm curious. I mean, I get it. Women want to kind of get themselves out there, but I'm like, I don't really see a whole lot of men doing these challenges. So it's
well,
like,
because
Not
yeah,
only that, why is
I
it
think
that are you really giving your full attention to the date if your whole thing is you're going in as
it's a
a
a
critiquer
challenge,
of
right?
the
right,
actual date?
Exactly.
You
right.
don't give yourself
And
a chance to really enjoy the moment. So are you dating for statistical research, or are you dating to get a relationship started?
clicks and likes, it's all of this. If you going on a date, this should be in your purse or this should be in his pocket. Better yet, you can leave it in
Yeah, I
the
agree.
car. And then when you get on the date, you need to put it on silent. I think people
Yeah,
aren't
I agree.
present. People aren't
Yeah.
present with each other anymore, and we see it even as a family when we go out. All everybody's head is like this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And we have to make a conscious
Yeah.
decision to say, okay, everybody, put the phones away and let's talk. And what I've realized, the younger generation has no point of conversation. They don't know how to have a
Yeah.
conversation. They don't know how to engage. They don't know even how to do a simple conversation starter because social
Yeah.
media has warped their
They
minds so
quiet as
much.
hell face to face.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so funny because after I picked my daughter up from work last night, me and her, went out and got something to eat because I hadn't eaten, and she was just like, "Well, I didn't eat either." So we're at this place, and when we sit down, I, handed the menu. It was like, "Okay, do you know what you want?" She's like, I don't know." So I'm like, "All right." So, you know, I see football on, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm watching football." Watching football. So,
Right.
and she's in her phone, like, like this. And so when you said that, I'm like, okay, I'm not really having a conversation because I'm watching the game. And
Hmm.
she's not having no conversation because she's in her phone, I don't know, doing whatever. Finally, I noticed she was watching some little Netflix thing or whatever while she was eating. I was just like, "You gonna eat your food? Why you like put your phone, like, eat your food?" She was like, "I could do two things at one time." And I was like,
It's like you weren't even there.
But you know what? When my friend and I, if we go out to eat, we make a conscious decision to put our phones away. But then we look around and we see all of these people on that look like, I mean, this is just outside looking in. They
right,
look like they're on dates, but they're
right,
not engaging with each other. So I'm like, how are you getting to know
They
somebody?
texting each other.
right. Now I
They,
will
I
say that. I
you
will
know,
say
I
that.
guess they could be texting each other, but if I go on a date and that man is more concerned, even my girlfriends, if you're more concerned with taking pictures of the food, posting up and taking, like, why am I here? I thought we was coming out because we hadn't seen each other in a minute. We trying to catch up.
Yeah. Now I will say when me and my friend do go out, we we don't have our phones. Like mine's is usually in my purse and his is probably in his pocket. And we'll talk
Hmm.
and most of the time watch the game. But we would talk and stuff like that. And then when I do go out with like my girlfriends from college, all of us like we're talking. We're not nobody's on their phone. We may stop and take a picture,
Right.
but we because I guess because of how busy all of us are, when we do get together, it's more or less trying to catch up.
Hmm.
So there is conversation, but you are right. I have been places, sometimes I've been places by myself, and I have noticed where for the most part people are on their phones looking down, not really talking to each other. I know one time I was at a bar and I was watching football, and I noticed this couple next to me, and for the majority of the time they sat there, neither one of them said anything to each other. They were both like this. And then finally they look up, da 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 da, and then they back
We're
to,
back to the phones.
yeah. So I'm like, okay. I was like, all
But
right.
I think we grew up with the mindset of what communication and interaction was because we didn't have all of
Social
the
media.
distractions.
Yeah, we didn't.
Like,
We didn't.
yeah, and we were able, like, you had to literally engage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would talk for hours on the phone. There was no texting until somebody told you get off or the line clicked and you had to switch over, and then that just became a
Right.
nuisance because you had to make sure the other person got the phone call for the house.
Right.
But I remember when the kids were little, I had my godkids and everybody here, and they were at the table and they were all texting. And I'm like, okay, you guys really have lost the beauty of communication. And I had to explain, I was like, so it would be the same as if I say, what are you doing? Like I asked my goddaughter, I said, what are you doing? And then I asked my son, I said, what are you doing? And then I asked my other son, I said, what are you doing? I said the same words, but the inflection makes the whole conversation different. And you miss that when you're texting because texting cannot convey the invocation of the human spirit and the reverence that you speak with when you're communicating somebody. So that's why when you text, everything gets convoluted. People take things the wrong way. Things get, lost in translation. even though those words are specifically spelled out in the same type of way. Without that human engagement, it comes across as something totally dead and distant.
Yeah. So the next one to kind of pivot. This was one that I had no clue about. This was very new to me. The 222 rule. And I guess this is where you go on a date every 2 weeks, take a weekend away every 2 months, and go on a vacation every 2 years. And I
So
guess
I
this
think that was
started
for people in
on,
relationships. So
uh,
I heard about that one.
yeah,
that used to be 777
okay.
because life happens. People really nowadays in this economy, people can't really afford to go away every 2 months.
Hmm.
So it was every 7 days you did something. It didn't have to be something that actually paid. Like, and maybe every 7 days you could go for a hike. You could have a picnic, just take the dogs to the dog park, something that you're doing as a date night. And then it was every 7 months you would go away. And then every 7 years you would have a big trip with just the two of you. So they took it from 777 to 555 to 333. Now it's 222. And if a man is dating, this is where women have to be realistic. If he is dating you and two or three other women, he can't afford every 2 days and every 2 months. You know what I mean? And every two
Right.
years.
I,
I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know. It just seems just
it's it seems people are parroting their relationships based on social media, and social media ain't fucking real.
no, it's
It ain't
not.
real.
It's not. It's not. And
It's
I think
not real.
it's not. And I think women, men, whatever, it's just like they live their life so much through social media. So
And
they
we're
come
an
up with
expert
these
in it.
challenges and I'm like, okay, all right. I
This is a
mean,
dumb challenge. No,
If they focus more,
seriously,
I
if they
don't think
focus
the
more,
challenge was. I think the challenge was geared more towards allowing people to refocus on their relationships. Because a lot of times, like you were talking about, life happens. You get away from actually seeing that person as your partner and just
right?
as another thing to do or somebody else who's there. And I think that that allowed people to
Roommate.
reprioritize, their relationship to really see each other. Because I remember even when, my husband and I would go out, he'd be like, "Yo, we got to talk about something other than the kids." But I'm like, "That's my whole life. Like, it ain't much else going on for me other than the shit with the kids." So to get out of that mindset, to talk about politics, to talk about news, to really disconnect from everything else and reconnect with each other, I think that challenge made a lot more sense than 12 random ass dates at Christmas. No offense to
Right.
whoever thought about it. I'm just saying.
yeah,
But
you know what?
for
It's
the mindset of,
yeah.
the two, two, and two, I could see that.
You know what?
But
It's
the
so
12 days of
interesting you
Christmas is
say that.
also it's in the most expensive month that people are putting up the most money buying gifts for people.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
will say this. I remember like when I was married, for the most part, when we went out, it was always about not really so much the
Business.
kids. No, it was about business. Yeah. We always talked about, all right, so we got to do this or we got to get this done, whatever. And not really focus too much on us, our marriage, each other, nothing. Like
mhm.
everything, even when we went on vacation, for the most part, we were talking about business and what was going on and
Hmm.
how we gonna do this and da da da. And then it just got to be to the point where our whole lives got consumed by the business. And then I had the kids, so I'm trying to make sure that. So I think in so many instances, you kind of lose that other
You can lose
person,
yourself. You can lose yourself.
and you start cracking doors, if you know what I mean.
Yes. 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 I mean, listen, COVID really exposed a lot. I say this every time, but it exposed people's relationships. It
Mm-hmm.
exposed who you married. It exposed the children that you're raising.
Right.
And it
Exactly.
really
Oh yeah,
showed
because
people
parents were so eager to send their kids back to school.
couldn't wait to send their kids back to school. But it also exposed the home lives of some of these children. So COVID really was an enlightening experience for a lot of for people like me who lived alone and whatnot. It could get into pockets of loneliness, but it strengthened my familial bond with my
Mm-hmm.
siblings, with my mom, with my extended family, because now all we could do was talk to each other because we couldn't
Yeah.
be around each other like we used to. So
Right.
that worked. I know a lot of relationships that soared, and I know a lot of them that went straight to shit because of COVID. So
Because of
you have
COVID.
these 12 days challenge. People, you're right. People don't know how to reconnect, and they don't know how. First of all, people don't know how to date.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. I
Yeah.
think women get into this mindset that we can't date more than one man because of the patriarchy we live under. It's telling women that you're going to be seen as an easy or loose woman, and you got to put that white noise aside. I could
Yeah.
be dating 10 men. Doesn't mean I'm sleeping with them, but that's how society
Exactly. Right.
see it.
That you're gonna be a hoe.
So
And listen,
date
women.
them all. Date
Listen,
them
women.
all. Baby.
Don't get caught up in, oh, women do this because and then they a hoe. Hey, listen, I know a lot of male hoes out there. Okay?
Whole bunch of them.
There's
And
more
half
male
of them
hoes
married.
than some of these women hoes. So I'm just saying. Like,
What?
but yeah, I think it is a stigmatism that, oh, if we're dating this person, that person, then you are looked at. But to your point, it doesn't mean that you in here sleeping with him or having sex with him. It could be
Right.
just you just going out having fun or whatever. It's just
Getting to know the guy.
exactly, exactly.
And you're not going to know a person in 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to take six to
Yeah,
9 months for that true individual to show themselves to you.
Hmm.
And times you
because
got
of
to look
what's
at
the word, Sassy? What's the
what?
word we looking for? Consistency.
Consistency. But also I've
They can't
realized
hold out for so
it's
long.
not it's not asking. And I wrote a blog a long time ago. God, this has to be at least 20 years ago on questions to ask on a date. And it's not what's your favorite color? And all it's like character questions. Like when men come here, men that I date, I have a basket of questions and they're character questions. So I want to see what is your character like? What's your
Hmm.
relationship like with your family? And I think women overlook that. I realized that I was raised on love and I can't deal or date men raised to survive because they don't understand how I love, how I receive love, and my family dynamic related to that love. And it took me 45 years
Hmm.
before that clicked.
That's interesting because I was brought up to now. Granted, not saying that my mom didn't show me love, but for the most part, it was surviving
Hmm.
because she was a single mom, and I've only seen her, survive to
Right.
take care of me, take care
Through
of
that
her. And
lens.
even when she would work, like, even like I was saying something to someone, I said, my mom worked like 3 jobs. Most of the time, I would see her maybe briefly in the morning if I was up. And she usually was out the door because she had to be to work at 7 o'clock. And I would get myself ready for school, get out. My grandparents lived down the street, but when I got home, that she wasn't
Or
home.
a true
She was
latchkey
working.
kid.
She was working. So either I would go down the street to my grandmother's, get some dinner, I'd come back home, do my homework, and get myself ready for bed. So by the time I went to bed or was getting ready for bed, she was just walking in the door, probably about 8:30. And by that time she was tired.
Yeah.
For the most part, she's checking to make sure I did what I was supposed to. Dishes washed, house
Hmm.
clean. Like, she was making sure I did. Then after that, then she was tired. So it wasn't really much of a conversation. So I try
It's
to
what you
be.
are, though.
Right, huh? Yeah, but I think I can relate a lot to other men who kind of have been in a similar situation where they may have been had a single mom, or they had to really kind of, in many sense, learn how to take care of themselves, and learn how to be responsible because, my mom didn't have a choice. She had to work. Um, and even as I have kids, a lot of times I worked and went to school, but I tried my very best to have those times and moments with them
Right.
because I know I really did. I mean, even though on the weekends, see, my mom would try to do things, um, make a little time for us to have together. On Sunday, she was in church all day. It had my ass there too. So, like,
So on Sunday, we were in church all day.
we're in church, I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, dude, that's church all day long, like Sunday service,
Sunday afternoon
midday,
service.
Monday service, some early morning service, afternoon service, evenings. I'm like, good Lord. I was tired when I got home. Hey, I got school tomorrow morning. We sit there. I'm like, come on, preacher. I mean, how much more points you gonna make? How much many songs the choir gonna sing?
Gonna
Like, come
sing.
on. I just want
Yeah.
to hear the benediction and let's get the hell up on out of here. But I mean, it's interesting that you say that because
Yeah.
men
I mean,
who,
I've dated
who are on
women.
survival mode, I can relate to them.
I mean, but at some point, as we age and we mature, we should be able to recognize some of those. And
Mhm.
maybe you're not at this point now, you're doing well for yourself. So you're
Right.
not really, I know black men, it's a struggle just being a black man. I'm not negating that fact.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking if you meet a woman that is peaceful to you, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's comfortable with you, that you feel comfortable with, and you're able to be not 100%, but maybe you're able to let your guard down a little bit to receive love
Right.
because they too don't know how to receive love because love was conditional for them based on what that person could do for
Right.
them. So
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of dynamics that I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
I had to learn on my own, and I had to learn about myself. And the other thing was people who aren't close to their family. That was
Hmm.
another thing I had to like. Ooh, he's not close to his family. I mean,
Hmm.
so is he gonna
Yeah.
understand? I remember the one dude I dated. He said I was asking him. I said my family's doing X, Y, Z, and I think I must have invited him to like 5 or 6 different things. And he was like, "Damn, your family always doing something." I was like, "You ain't gonna be invited no more."
Hmm.
And I slowly removed myself from his life because my family ain't going nowhere.
Hmm.
But
Right.
your ass can get rotated right out the rotation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's funny. All right. Man, time goes by fast.
it does.
So last week poll, if you noticed, we had talked about femicide. So for this, it's surprisingly, for the most part, a lot of Americans have no
Don't know.
clue of this. Like none. I mean,
I
it
was one
really
of
like it's interesting. I think about 80% of folks just they have no clue of this. Um, you have studies, research, but for this particular and that to me that's sad. That's
them. Well, I
sad.
Hmm.
mean, I was part of that 80% until KL brought it to our attention. To be
Mhm.
to be honest with you, I was part of that 80%.
Right.
So, but I've been doing the
Because
research
we know
since
we
you
need
talked
job.
about it. It really is outstanding. Like
Yeah.
not outstanding. It's outstanding. It's outrageous,
Right.
and people aren't mad enough.
Hmm. But we don't look at women in the way we should, and that was part of our prior conversation. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
prioritizing what kills us versus what allows us to live. I remember seeing something from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and he was saying how you have to treat women because you come to this world through a woman. So if you
Mm-hmm.
poison that well, you know what I mean? You're coming through a poison well. And I may not align myself with everything, that they say, but a lot of stuff that he speaks rings true. And I think that we have to prioritize women, and particularly women of color, because we're so neglected.
Right.
Yeah.
So that just
Yeah.
goes to show you. But we're going to always keep
All
you
right.
up on what's good with Women's Talk Live. That's what we do.
Right. Exactly. All right. So let's get to our final thought of the day. So our final thought is social media is where hypocrisy, falseness, double standards, rumors, and depression, plus all those dick pics, meet up for coffee.
What's our
Oh,
poll?
that's a whole show on the dick pics.
Oh, girl.
No
Oh my
teeny
God.
ashy pics.
Uh,
Like,
Please. I'm
unsolicited.
begging
We
you.
don't want
Please
them.
stop sending me dick pics. I don't want to see the shit. I really don't. That's an instant
Please.
delete
That's an
and
instant ick.
out of here.
Ick.
Especially if you
When
have
a
a small
woman,
dick. You got small
men,
dick. You set your ass up. I'm sorry. You set your ass up.
first of all, every person that has ever sent me one, understand and recognize it did make every group fucking chat that I was in.
Oh.
Every group chat, every message group that I'm in, every inbox group, every group that I belong to saw it.
Oh, yo. You go
Fact.
hard. You go.
Yeah, because I get it. I be like, y'all, look at what this motherfucker is saying. Like, do I want to see this? That's what you get.
Oh
That's what
my
you get.
gosh.
Then you get deleted and blocked.
Yeah, that
I don't
part.
want unsolicited. I don't think men even understand. No woman wants an unsolicited pic
No,
of
they
your
don't.
member.
They don't. They really
They
don't.
don't.
No, they don't. Come on.
It's not
Come on.
cute. It's not attractive. It's not you trying to shoot your shot. You just gave them the
Mm-mm.
ick, like you, the master Chester molester creeper.
Yes, exactly.
Y'all knew who Chester
All right.
was.
On that note, this is Women's Talk Live with your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is KO Boogie.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Women talk live.